Good morning, friends, and welcome to the Unitarian Universalist Fellowship at Stony Brook, located on the ancestral lands of the Setakot peoples. My name is Wendy Engelhardt, and I'm grateful to be your worship associate this morning. I'm very pleased to welcome the Reverend Sharon Pataky to our UUFSB pulpit, a fellow Sophia Faz camp parent, and our guest service leader this morning. Reverend Sharon Pataky is a recently ordained interfaith, interspiritual minister through One Spirit Learning Alliance in New York and has been a dedicated member of the South Nassau Unitarian Universalist congregation, otherwise known as SNUUC, since 2005. In January, she stepped into a co-ministerial role at SNUUC as part of a shared ministry model designed to meet the congregation's evolving needs. Sharon has held various leadership roles in the UU community, including guiding youth programs like Coming of Age, Our Whole Lives, and Sophia Faz RE Camp. She also has been active in the UU Mid-Atlantic Conference and is a longtime member of SNUUC's drum ministry, the Drummatics, cultivating a connection through rhythm and music. A healing touch energy practitioner and drum workshop facilitator, Sharon integrates these practices to inspire personal healing and growth. She brings a compassionate, holistic approach to ministry, rooted in her UU involvement and interspiritual training. Sharon is currently studying interspiritual companioning and counseling at One Spirit Learning Alliance, deepening her capacity to provide supportive, inclusive care. Welcome, Reverend Sharon. Our Director of Religious Education is Deb Little. Our musicians today are Lee Morris, so much for technology. Lee and John Morris, and also Didi Cook and Peter Winkler, who will be performing our hymns today. Our tech team is Linda Cortese, Rich Hall, and Rob Pond. I welcome you wherever you may be this morning, whether here in our sanctuary or attending virtually. We are one congregation worshiping together, so let's all wave at the folks at home through the camera on your left. Good morning. A very special welcome to those of you who are here for the first time. We are so glad you're here with us and look forward to getting to know you. If you are comfortable doing so, please raise your hand so we can greet you personally after the service. Welcome. You're welcome to join us after the service for coffee and conversation. For those of you who are online, if you sign off after the service and return to our website, you'll find the link for joining our small group chats. Whether here or online, you'll find some terrific people who can answer any questions you may have. We will continue to honor the process of sharing our joys and sorrows in the tradition of our adopted partners, the Great South Bay Congregation, by dropping pebbles into the water. At any time during the service, please come to this table on my left and place a pebble in the water. Let us now enter into the sacred space of worship with the sounding of the morning bell. May the vibrations help us to open our hearts and our minds and bring us fully into this moment.
Good morning, everybody, and welcome. As we gather in this sacred space, we reflect on the power of discomfort, not as something to fear, but as something to learn from. Today, as we mark President's Day weekend, we remember that leadership is not about power, but responsibility. Not about convenience, but the willingness to face hard truths and act with integrity. We gather in a time when democracy trembles, when voices of division grow louder, when the weight of history presses upon us with urgency, reminding us that the freedoms we cherish are never guaranteed, but must be nurtured, protected, and sometimes reclaimed. Let us not turn away from the instability of this moment, but lean into it, learn from it, and let it move us toward justice. As we enter into this time together, I invite you to take a deep breath, maybe 2, maybe 3, to settle into this moment and fully arrive here. May this time together inspire us, challenge us, and give us strength for our journeys ahead. Our opening song is The Courage to Change, given to us by Lee and John. Thank you.
I want to leave you better. I want my life to matter. I am afraid I have no purpose here. I watch the news on TV, abandon myself daily. I am afraid to let you see the real me. Rain it falls, pouring on me. And the rain it falls, sowing the seeds of love and hope, love and hope. We don't have to stay stuck in the weeds. Have I the courage to change? Have I the courage to change? Have I the courage to change today? Have I the courage to change? Have I the courage to change? Have I the courage to change today? You're not alone in all this. You're not alone, I promise. Standing together, we can do anything. You're not alone in all this. You're not alone, I promise. Standing together, we can do anything. World, you're not alone in all this. You're not alone, I promise. Standing together, we can do anything. I want my life to matter. I want to leave you better. Rain it falls, it's pouring on me. And the rain it falls, sowing the seeds of love and hope, love and hope. We don't have to stay stuck in the weeds. Have I the courage to change? Have I the courage to change? Have I the courage to change today? Have I the courage to change? Have I the courage to change? Have I the courage to change today?
Thank you so much. I have asked Linda Cortese to come and light our chalice this morning. For those at home, I invite you to light a chalice or candle as we kindle our chalice flame. As we light our chalice, the symbol of our Unitarian Universalist faith, I share these words by Craig Rowland, as found on the worship web, entitled, I Breathe. As we light this chalice, may each breath remind us of the sacred rhythm of life, the pulse of creation, and the power we hold to shape the world around us. I now invite you to rise in body or in spirit and join in singing our first hymn, number 128, in our gray hymnal, For All That Is Our Life. Number 128.
So good morning, beloveds. Today, our Time for All Ages is a story that older folks may have heard as children or read to their children. It's called Alexander and the Terrible, Horrible, No Good, Very Bad Day. It's by Judith Fjorst, and you'll hear the title repeated several times, and feel free to empathize with Alexander and join in as he says this. I've been feeling this way a lot myself, so. I went to sleep with gum in my mouth, and now there's gum in my hair. And when I got out of bed this morning, I tripped on the skateboard, and by mistake, I dropped my sweater in the sink while the water was running, and I could tell it was going to be a terrible, horrible, no good, very bad day. At breakfast, Anthony found a Corvette Stingray car kit in his breakfast cereal box, and Nick found a junior undercover agent code ring in his breakfast cereal box. But in my breakfast cereal box, all I found was breakfast cereal. I think I'll move to Australia. In the carpool, Mrs. Gibson let Becky have a seat by the window, and Audrey and Elliot got seats by the window too, and I said I was being scrunched. I said I was being smushed. I said, if I don't get a seat by the window, I'm going to be carsick. No one even answered. I could tell it was going to be a terrible, horrible, no good, very bad day. I could also tell because Paul said I wasn't his best friend anymore. He said that Philip Parker was his best friend, and Albert Moyo was his next best friend, and I was only his third best friend. "I hope you sit on a tack," I said to Paul. There were 2 cupcakes in Philip Parker's lunch bag, and Albert got a Hershey bar with almonds, and Paul's mother gave him a piece of jelly roll that had little coconut sprinkles on the top. Guess whose mother forgot to put in dessert? It was a terrible, horrible, no good, very bad day. That's what it was, because after school, my mom took us all to the dentist, and Dr. Fields found a cavity just in me. "Come back next week and I'll fix it," said Dr. Fields. "Next week," I said, "I'm going to be in Australia." "I'm having a terrible, horrible, no good, very bad day," I told everybody. No one even answered. So then we went to the shoe store to buy some sneakers, and Anthony chose white ones with blue stripes, and Nick chose red ones with white stripes, and I chose blue ones with red stripes. But then the shoe man said, "We're all sold out." They made me buy plain old white ones, but they can't make me wear them. When we picked up my dad at his office, he said I couldn't play with his copying machine, but I forgot. He also said to watch out for the books on his desk, and I was careful as could be except for my elbow. He also said, "Don't fool around with his phone," but I think I called Australia. My dad said, "Please don't pick him up anymore." It was a terrible, horrible, no good, very bad day. There were lima beans for dinner, and I hate lima beans. There was kissing on TV, and I hate kissing. My bath was too hot. I got soap in my eyes. My marble went down the drain, and I had to wear my railroad train pajamas. I hate my railroad train pajamas. When I went to bed, Nick took back the pillow he said I could keep, and the Mickey Mouse nightlight burned out, and I bit my tongue. The cat wants to sleep with Anthony, not me. It has been a terrible, horrible, no good, very bad day. My mom says some days are like that, even in Australia. Amen. Now, please turn to the back cover of your hymnal and join in singing the children out to their classrooms with the Reeb Children's Benediction. And would Cassandra and Tara stand up to take the junior high kids back? And would Melissa and Susan stand up to take the little ones back? And kids, you can go to the back door. Thank you all.
Our meditation this morning will be offered in 3 parts. First words, then silence, and finally music. After we listen to the words, we will enter into a period of silence together, and then Dee Dee and Peter will lead us out of our silence, and we'll sing together hymn number 121 in our gray hymnal, We'll Build a Land. You may wish to open your hymnal now and leave it open on your lap for easy access when it's time. So I found this on the Women's Meditation Network, and it caught my eye as it began by saying it should help you practice being comfortable, being uncomfortable, which is pretty much what Reverend Sharon is here to speak with you about today. Let's begin by getting comfortable in our chairs, taking in a deep breath, and letting it go. Now take a moment to think about anything in your life that feels uncomfortable right now. Perhaps there are discomforts in your work, in your relationships, in your health, perhaps in your finances. See if you can bring to mind just one example of a situation or thing that is uncomfortable or unsettling for you right now. And then be here with it, without changing it, without thinking of solutions, without judging it. Just sit with it, releasing any meaning it may have for you, like petals falling from a flower, and just observe it for a moment. You are a person of love and light, and your special journey is a constantly evolving work of art that asks for you to practice being comfortable, being uncomfortable, so that you may flourish as you are destined to.
Thank you. So the seed for today's topic was planted during an ordinary moment, one of those brief, mindless strolls through social media. But in the usual clutter of content, something unexpected caught my eye. It was a weight loss advertisement, but not the typical drop 10 pounds in 30 days gimmick. This one took a different approach, focusing not on quick fixes, but on cognitive awareness and behavior modification. Curious, I clicked. And what I found wasn't just about food or fitness, it was about our relationship with comfort itself. The ad suggested that for many, the struggle with eating habits isn't just about willpower, it's about an addiction to comfort. Addiction to comfort. We reach for food not always because we're hungry, but because it soothes us or provides a momentary escape. It went on to say that we often prioritize immediate comfort over long-term well-being, and that the key to sustainable change isn't deprivation, it's strengthening our discomfort muscle. Did you know you had one of those? The idea stayed with me long after I closed my screen. The ad just wasn't about weight loss, it was speaking to something bigger. If our default reaction to discomfort is avoidance, what are we missing out on? How often do we shrink away from opportunity or deeper truths simply because they feel uncomfortable? And let's be honest, if embracing discomfort really is a gateway to learning, change, and deeper fulfillment, then we're in luck. Because discomfort is everywhere. There is no shortage of opportunities to practice. It would be impossible to talk about discomfort today without acknowledging the ongoing turmoil in our country. Weeks have passed since the inauguration, yet uncertainty and unrest continue to shape our daily reality. Confusion, fear, and frustration are ever present, leaving many wondering what the future holds. The weight of this moment is undeniable, yet we're called to sit with this unease, to find clarity amid the chaos and seek resilience in the face of the unknown. But while we're living in extraordinary times, we must also recognize that discomfort isn't just found in historic moments. We find it in every corner of our everyday lives. We each grapple with it personally in ways that are deeply physical, emotional, social, and spiritual. Regardless of how discomfort shows up, it is present not just on a grand stage, but in the small moments that shape our daily lives. Consider this scenario. There's a decision you've been avoiding. It's been lingering in the back of your mind for weeks or maybe even months. You know it's important, but every time it crosses your mind, a familiar knot tightens in your stomach. Maybe it's a difficult conversation that you need to have with someone you care about. Maybe it's a change you know is necessary, like leaving a relationship that no longer fulfills you, stepping into a new role that scares you, or finally setting that long overdue boundary. You probably do what most of us do. We go back and forth in our minds, we play out every possible outcome like a mental chess game. What if I make the wrong choice? What if it's too hard? What if things don't go the way I hope? The unknown feels heavy, so we put it aside. We tell ourselves maybe later, choosing the familiar, even if the familiar isn't working anymore. This moment, this crossroads of hesitation and possibility, is discomfort in its rawest form. It's a threshold between what is and what could be, between clinging to the known and stepping into the unknown. And if we're being honest, the temptation to avoid it is strong. We wait for the perfect moment and assurance that it will all go smoothly, but that moment never comes. So what if, instead of running from this feeling of unease and resistance, understood not as an obstacle, but as a profound teacher? It disrupts, yes, and it also transforms. If we can sit with it, even for a moment, we may find that on the other side is clarity, strength, and the life we are meant to step into. Pema Chodron, a renowned Tibetan Buddhist teacher, teaches that discomfort is inevitable, but suffering is optional. I'm going to say that again. Discomfort is inevitable, but suffering is optional. Discomfort is simply a passing sensation, physical or emotional, like waves on an ocean. Suffering, however, arises when we resist that tension, layering it with fear, judgment, and the endless questioning, why is this happening to me? Rather than fighting it, Pema encourages us to soften into it, stay present, and approach it with curiosity instead of fear. Resistance traps us, but acceptance frees us. This is not a one-time choice, but a lifelong practice, leaning in rather than running away, embracing the impermanence of things, and choosing compassion over self-judgment. And the rewards: personal growth, resilience, clarity, confidence, and the ability to find meaning even in life's challenges. As we reflect on discomfort, let's recognize that it's something we all encounter, not just in the world around us, but within our own communities and spiritual lives. Even in the most familiar places, such as here, we may experience worry, hesitation, or questions about the future. Perhaps there are concerns about how to remain connected in changing times, how to navigate differences with grace, or how to sustain ourselves in an ever-shifting world. These feelings are natural. Growth, whether personal or communal, often brings both excitement and uneasiness. Stepping into the unknown requires trust, patience, and an openness to what may emerge. I know this firsthand as my congregation, SNUUC in Freeport, has been navigating its own growing pains through change, particularly with a new leadership model and my stepping into a ministerial role. Some have felt uncertainty about what this shift means, how it will shape our community, and what it asks of us moving forward. It is a vulnerable thing to embrace a new chapter, especially when it calls us to reconsider what we thought we knew. And yet, discomfort is often a sign that something important is happening, that transformation is underway. So in the spirit of openness, I'd like to share a little bit about my new role as minister, not just standing here, but in my home congregation in Freeport. Some of you may already know this, but in case you didn't, I did not attend a traditional Unitarian Universalist seminary, and I'm not an ordained UU minister. My path has been one of interfaith and interspiritual ministry, and I was ordained through an interfaith, interspiritual seminary. So what does this mean for my approach to ministry? At its core, interfaith ministry is about building bridges between people, traditions, and the sacred and secular. It acknowledges that wisdom, truth, and the sacred exist across all traditions, in nature, human connection, and personal experience. An interfaith minister holds space for diverse spiritual identities, those rooted in a single faith and those drawing from multiple traditions, and those identifying as spiritual but not religious. The goal is not to blend the traditions, but to honor and deeply understand each on its own terms, fostering dialogue, connection, and meaningful practice. Interfaith ministers serve in many roles as chaplains, spiritual companions, justice advocates, and ceremonial leaders, helping people mark life's sacred moments in ways that resonate with their beliefs. At its heart, interfaith ministry is about radical inclusion, recognizing and respecting the many ways people experience and seek the sacred. While interfaith ministry emphasizes dialogue and understanding, interspiritual ministry focuses on direct experience, the lived sacredness within and across traditions. It moves beyond belief systems into meditation, prayer, ritual, sacred activism, and contemplative practice, ways of encountering the divine, ultimate reality, or the mystery of existence. An interspiritual minister's role is to serve as a companion, guide, and facilitator, supporting individuals and communities in deepening their inner lives without requiring adherence to any single tradition. It's not about merging religions, but about honoring the unique gifts of each while helping people cultivate their own authentic connection to the sacred. These are the lenses through which I approach ministry, and I hope this perspective brings clarity and reassurance to those who may not have fully understood interfaith and interspiritual ministry before. My commitment remains unchanged: to walk alongside those I serve, to listen with an open heart, and to create a space where all spiritual journeys are honored, nurtured, and embraced. So let's take a moment to reflect. As Wendy asked earlier during meditation, what's the discomfort that keeps coming up for you? Is it not knowing what's coming next? Maybe it's the fear of failure, the uneasy feeling that you won't meet expectations, your own or someone else's. Perhaps it's the hesitancy around having difficult conversations, the ones you know you need to have but keep putting off. Or maybe it's the distress of loss, the loss of loved ones, of mobility, of safety, or of a sense of purpose that once felt so clear. So imagine for just a moment, what might it look like for you to lean into that discomfort instead of resisting it? What could shift if you allowed yourself to sit with it, listen to it, and maybe even see it as a teacher? My decision to enter seminary wasn't driven by a lifelong dream of becoming a minister. Instead, it was born out of a sudden health crisis in the spring of 2021, right in the midst of the COVID pandemic, while I was deep in my Master of Public Health program at Adelphi. The details of that experience aren't important. What matters is how it changed me. In the aftermath, I found myself in a deep place of wrestling with God, with meaning, with what life was asking of me. When I completed my degree, I realized I could no longer step into the career I had been working toward. That realization was painful, disorienting, and anxiety-provoking. After a relatively short bout of resisting it, I leaned in. And that's what led me to seminary, not for a new title or a new profession, but as a path towards the healing of body, mind, and spirit. I share this with you not because my story is unique, but because it's universal. We all encounter moments when life shifts beneath us, when the plans we held so tightly unravel, and when we are left standing in the unknown. But what if these moments, as uncomfortable as they are, have something to offer us? The question isn't whether we will experience discomfort, it's how we will respond to it. For me, leaning in cultivated resilience, patience, courage, humility, adaptability, and finally, gratitude. It gave me gifts I never expected, one of them being clarity around how I'm called to serve. I didn't know where my seminary journey was going to lead, but over time, I felt something shift. What began as a search for personal healing grew into something greater, a realization that I'm called to walk with others through their own questions, uncertainties, and transformations. So, as I get to the end of this sermon, I leave you with this question. What might you discover by leaning into discomfort rather than avoiding it? Seems like you've heard this question a lot today. What strengths, insights, or possibilities could unfold if you stepped forward with curiosity and trust? I look forward to witnessing that journey. I was going to end here. However, I'm going to propose a 5-minute interactive exercise. Is everybody up to it? Yeah? Okay. Here we go. Now, my congregation had some difficulty with this exercise, and maybe we'll see why. So to embody today's message, I'm going to invite you into a simple and yet profound practice, one that asks us to step into presence, vulnerability, and the shared human experience of being truly seen. At its core, this practice is about witnessing and being witnessed, a reminder that each of us longs to be seen for who we truly are. And yet, eye contact, silence, and recognition can bring up feelings of discomfort. We may be tempted to look away, to laugh, or retreat, or in the case of SNUUC, carry on other conversations. That's okay. Just notice it. This is an invitation and not a demand. So this is how it will work. We're going to partner up. You're going to find a partner, and I'm going to leave it up to you whether you want to partner with someone you know well, know relatively well, or maybe that you don't know well at all. So you're going to find a partner. One is going to be person A, one's going to be person B. You're going to find a little space, you're going to face each other and look into each other's eyes and take a few deep breaths together. The goal is to hold gentle eye contact. Okay, so there are 2 things you're going to say, so hold on, just hold on. Hold on. Partner A. Partner A, can I have your attention, please? Partner A is going to begin by saying simply, I see you. Partner B is going to take a breath, allow the words to land, and respond, thank you. I feel seen. You'll pause, let the moment settle, and then you'll switch roles. That's it. So there's only 2 things that are going to be said. I see you, and thank you, I feel seen. But take the time to let those words land. See how they feel in your body. If discomfort comes up, again, just notice it. All right? If there's anybody that wants a partner and doesn't have one, I'm willing to stand in. Yes? Yeah? Okay. Okay. Let's try it out. Okay. Has everyone had a chance to go? As I suspected, I heard more than I see you, and thank you, I feel seen. Okay. Thank you for engaging in this activity. Feel free to do this at any time with friends, family. See what happens, see what comes up. So, did anyone find this exercise difficult? Yeah. So. Yeah. So, simple, yep. Simple in its instructions, but not necessarily easy. This is a practice of being present with another human, in seeing beyond the surface, and in honoring the courage it takes to show up as we are. So again, if this felt uncomfortable, good. That means you're stepping into the sacred space where real connection happens. May we all find the courage to lean into our discomfort with grace and self-compassion. I see you.
It is our spiritual practice to share our offering plate with an organization working for social justice in the world. Our shared plate recipient for the month of February is a Long Island immigration clinic. This organization, located in Brentwood, is committed to being a welcoming presence to all undocumented immigrants who live here on Long Island and who need their support and services. The clinic aids individuals in gaining legal status to remain in the country through the work of volunteers and attorneys who assist in the complex task of preparing asylum petitions and educating people concerning their legal rights. They help each person to become a successful advocate on their own behalf in immigration hearings. We can only imagine how deeply needed their services to immigrant friends are in these difficult times. Please give generously. Can our members of the board please step up? Thank you.
Change, but I've come of age, think I'm finally finding my way. Dance with chaos on every occasion, looks me up every day. Even when I'm tired and low, there is gold in this river that is carrying me home. Newspaper says the world's on fire, people yelling and the water's rising. It's easy to feel kind of anxious. Yeah, we thought it was the end of time, but we're still holding on and we're still trying. Life's always been a little dangerous, but I don't want to stay the same, so I'm trying to keep up with the changes. I'm trying to keep up with the changes. Was a baby during the LA riots, and I've seen cities burn again. Cried for the innocent 1,000 times, and people still don't understand what it's like to hope again and again, knowing that heartache's gonna be there till the end. Newspaper says the world's on fire, people yelling and the water's rising. It's easy to feel kind of anxious. Yeah, we thought it was the end of time, but we're still holding on and we're still trying. Life's always been a little dangerous, but I don't want to stay the same, so I'm trying to keep up with the changes. I'm trying to keep up with the changes. Newspaper says the world's on fire, people yelling and the water's rising. It's easy to feel kind of anxious. Yeah, we thought it was the end of time, but we're still holding on and we're still trying. Life's always been a little dangerous, but I don't want to stay the same, so I'm trying to keep up with the changes. Trying to keep up with the changes. I'm trying to keep up with the changes.
Thank you for this beautiful music. Discomfort is a sign of growth, a teacher in disguise. Let uncertainty remind you that you are still becoming. Let difficult conversations deepen your understanding. Let the restlessness of change open new paths before you. When the world feels heavy, stand firm in your truth. When unease urges you to turn away, lean in with courage. When fear whispers that you are alone, remember the strength of community. Go forth seeking truth over ease and transformation over comfort. Walk with courage, live with intention, and love without fear. As we extinguish this flame, may we carry its light within us into the places of indecision, into the moments of challenge, and into the spaces where growth begins. For our final hymn, please rise in body or in spirit and open your gray hymnal to number 346 and share in singing, Come Sing a Song with Me.
took my love and I took it down. Climbed a mountain and I turned around, and I saw my reflection in the snow-covered hills till the landslide brought it down. Oh, mirror in the sky, what is love? Can the child within my heart rise above? Can I sail through the changing ocean tides? Can I handle the seasons of my life? Well, I've been afraid of changing, 'cause I built my life around you. But time makes you bolder, children get older, I'm getting older too. I've been afraid of changing, 'cause I built my life around you. But time makes you bolder, children get older, I'm getting older too. Oh, I'm getting older too. So take my love and take it down. If you climb a mountain and you turn around, and if you see my reflection in the snow-covered hills, well, the landslide will bring it down. And if you see my reflection in the snow-covered hills, well, the landslide will bring it